Finding the right banking institution for your small business is extremely important. You'll want to take time, a lot of time, to figure out exactly what your needs are and finding a banking institution that meets your needs. The same goes for a business credit card. But first, you need to answer this question. Is a business banking credit card right for me? Hi everybody, I'm Brandon Gustafson. I own and operate 2 assisted living facilities, and I created this channel to help people like you learn the ins and outs of investing in assisted living. Welcome to Assisted Living Investing. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In our last video, we talked about small business banking fees that you should be aware of and just kind of look out for. So go ahead and watch that video. Leave a comment there if you have additional insight into some fees that you should be aware of or things that I missed. I'd love to hear from you on that. Today, we're going to get into the question of, should I get a business credit card? There's a lot of good and bad with credit cards, and so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So obviously there are perks of having a business credit card. Some of those perks are they can give you some additional protection, so you don't have fraud on your actual business bank account, which is nice. Credit cards are also unsecured debt. So that means you haven't put like real estate up against it or your car or something. There's no collateral there. It's unsecured. And so you just have a little bit more, protection from that in the event that you go bankrupt or something like that. So you're not going to lose your house or something like that if you default on a credit card because it's unsecured. But it's higher interest rate. So that's something else you want to look at. You can get multiple cards for multiple users, and you can put specific limits and protections on each of those cards. You can get a lot of great customization for each of those cards for the different people. So as an owner, I can have a card that just has access to everything. I can do whatever I need to with it, and I can give one to my administrator that has a spending limit of $6,000 a month. And if I needed to give it to like our house manager because she's got to go and buy supplies or things like that, I could make one on there that has like a $500 a month limit or something like that. Or you could only buy stuff at these types of locations or things like that. You can put a lot of customization on there to help keep track and make sure that people aren't spending money that they aren't supposed to, using a business card for personal expenses, and also that you're just able to control a little bit more there. So that customization is great that you can get on those credit cards. You can earn cash back and other partner rewards. And I'm going to have a video about that here in the near future. But those are some really great perks. You can use those rewards and things for things like travel or lodging, subscriptions, supplies. You can get good deals on that. A lot of credit card companies will create relationships with those types of vendors. And so you can really take advantage of that through their partner reward programs. You can start building your business credit, which is going to be helpful as you look to continue building out your portfolio. And you can also kind of float your money a little bit. That's something else that a lot of people don't talk a lot about with credit cards. You still want to be wise with it and how you do it, but you can kind of float transactions for a month, or if you really needed to, you could kind of hold things on a credit card for a period of time, just swallow the interest and make sure you're doing that. Especially in the beginning as you're starting your business, it might be something that you need to do to float groceries for 6 weeks on there while you're trying to get your operating capital up and running the way that you need it to be. So that's another perk that a lot of people don't talk about with credit cards. And as long as you don't do it to perpetually get into debt, and you're using it strategically, it's a great way to kind of float things around and give you a little bit more time to pay bills or things like that. So why you would not want a business credit card. These are the reasons that you look at a credit card and you're like, nope, can't do it. I'm going to just stick with our debit card or something like that. So in the beginning, with no business credit, the credit pull is going to be using your personal credit. And that can impact the amount of credit you receive based off of your personal credit. So if you don't have great personal credit, the chances of you getting a high limit business credit card is not great. It's going to be hard to do that. It's also because they're doing a pull on your personal credit, it's going to impact your personal credit score. So that's another thing that you kind of want to be aware of as you're starting out with the business, that it's going to be based off of your personal credit. So just take that into consideration. High interest rates is the next one. We've talked about this a little bit briefly earlier in the video, but credit card interest is extremely high. 13 to 25% or something like that. Like it is not a low interest loan at all. It is one of the worst types of debt that you can use. You can still use it, you can still leverage it, but you just want to make sure that you're aware that you're paying a very high interest rate to do that. So if you're looking, if you're not good at doing credit cards in your personal life, then I would say probably avoid doing a credit card in the business, unless you've got a business partner that is really good with it. That's kind of some of the pros of working with business partners. You just don't want to get yourself into extra debt. That's not good. You don't want to put yourself in a really bad situation with your business because you now have 5 business credit cards that have $10,000 of debt on each of them. Like that would just kind of ruin your business. So you don't want to do that. Even though it is unsecured debt, I would just highly suggest that you stay away from it because you're going to be paying a lot of money in interest, and you could avoid that if you just use the debit card for your purchases. So if you're not good at using your personal credit card, then you might consider staying away from a business credit card. Business credit cards typically are also going to have less protection than like a bank in the event that there's fraud or something like that. There's protection in place for a credit card. It's something that you can look at and see, but typically a bank is going to have a little bit better protection and be able to help you out with that a little bit more for fraud and those types of things. So just kind of be aware there that you might have better protection if you just go with your banking institution. And you also might run into some security issues, especially if you have multiple employees that have a card. In a small assisted living facility like the one that I have, we just have our administrators who have a card, and we keep pretty good tabs on how those are being spent. But if you are a larger facility and you've got managers and those people all have cards, and you're managing 6, 7, 8 cards, it can get a little dicey there. And it can be a little hard to keep track of everything. And so you just want to make sure that if you are doing that, you're dealing with the security issues of somebody using it for personal expenses, the card getting lost or stolen. You just have more cards out there, and so your risk is higher, and there's potential for more security issues to come up. So just something you want to be aware of. So yes or no. Should you get a credit card or not? And as with most things that I talk about on this channel, it really just depends. If you are a responsible user of credit cards, and then you have some really great potential to earn rewards, build business credit, float some of your payments, use this tool wisely. And if you're planning on paying that card off quickly and using it kind of like a debit card, then yeah, I would say go ahead and do it. Business cards are probably a good fit for you. They're a good idea. We use them. We pay them off once, twice a month. Like, we're very good at staying on top of them. It's something that I'm able to do in my personal life as well. So it's not something that for me is scary. And there's a lot of good perks for it. I think we'll be able to use our points from one of our cards to go and do a site visit at one of our facilities with no out-of-pocket costs, which will be great. So there's a lot of perks for that. And I'll get into that in a future video. But if you struggle with personal credit cards, you're likely going to be struggling with a business credit card as well. So in that case, I would probably say no. Again, this is your decision. So do what you need to do. But it's probably best if you just kind of keep things simplified. Just use a debit card for your transactions and kind of keep it in that space within your bank. Don't have too many balls in the air. Just kind of keep it simple for you. As you continue to grow and build and gain more confidence in how you're doing things, then maybe you could start introducing a credit card. But if you're not great at doing them, I would probably steer clear of them. But again, it's up to you. The perks of using a credit card are certainly great, but remember, you still need to use them responsibly. The perks are not worth putting yourself in a difficult situation. Don't get caught up in the points of the reward system, thinking, oh, this is going to be great. And then you end up paying $1,000, $2,000 a year in interest. That's not worth it. It doesn't matter how many points you get. You're probably not earning that many points and that many perks just by spending your card. So just kind of make sure that you're aware of everything there. Don't put yourself in a difficult situation with your finances, and don't put yourself more in debt or anything like that. Just be wise in how you use your credit cards as a tool for your business is what I would suggest to you there. Next time, we're going to be getting into how do you get a business credit card? What's the process for doing that? How do you go and apply for them? Some strategies there. So I'll get into that a little bit more in the next video. If a credit card is right for you, then make sure you watch that video and learn kind of what that process is. And then we'll start getting into rewards and things like that. To learn more about investing in assisted living, make sure you visit me on assistedlivinginvesting.net. I have free content, free resources out there. You can set up a consulting call with me. I'd love to have a conversation with you. And then make sure you follow me on my other social media platforms. I'd love to continue conversations there and just interact with you. And remember, it doesn't take a lot, just a little bit. Keep going step by step by step. If you are consistent, you're going to make progress, and I promise you are going to be successful. So keep it up. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.